The joke came too fast. Too rehearsed. I remember the way she leaned against the kitchen counter. Wine glass dangling between two fingers like it weighed nothing. Her smile was loose. Careless. The kind people use when they believe the moment belongs to them. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it. Just a flicker. But I saw the screen light up. I saw the name vanish before she turned the phone face down. Work? I asked. She laughed. Not nervous. Not defensive. Just amused. Oh please, she said, waving a hand at me. What, are you going to interrogate me now? Then she tilted her head. Eyes playful. Voice lighter than it should have been. What's next? She added. You want a DNA test for the kids too? She laughed again. Like she had just delivered the punchline of the night. And maybe she expected me to laugh with her. Maybe she expected me to look embarrassed. Paranoid. Small. Instead, I just watched her. Quietly. And after a few seconds of silence, I answered. Already did. The room didn't explode. Nothing dramatic happened. But something changed. Her smile froze. Just slightly. Just enough. And in that small, fragile silence between us, I realized something important. The joke had slipped out of her mouth too easily. And jokes like that don't come from nowhere. Suspicion doesn't arrive like thunder. It arrives like fog. Quiet. Slow. Difficult to see until you're already standing inside it. Looking back, the signs had been there for months. Late-night texts. Bathroom doors that stayed locked longer than necessary. A new softness in her voice when she spoke to someone on the phone. Not with me. Never with me. With someone else. But every time I noticed something, she brushed it aside with humor. Sarcasm. That same effortless confidence. You're imagining things. You watch too many crime shows. Relax. She always said it with a smile. Like my doubt was something cute. Something harmless. I started noticing how easily she lied. Not big lies. Small ones. The kind that slip out smoothly because the person has practiced. I'm meeting Sarah. Except Sarah once told me she hadn't seen my wife in weeks. I stayed late at work. But her office closed at 6. At first I told myself I was overthinking. Marriage does that. 10 years together teaches you to ignore the little cracks. But the joke changed something. Asterisk, what's next? You want a DNA test for the kids too, asterisk. People joke about things they've imagined. Or feared. Or hidden. So that night, after she fell asleep beside me, breathing slowly like nothing in the world could disturb her peace, I stared at the ceiling. And I made a decision. Not to confront her. Not yet. First, I needed to know. And once you decide to know the truth, your mind becomes very patient. Very cold. Very precise. The investigation didn't feel dramatic. It felt methodical. Like solving a quiet equation. I started with her phone records. Not the messages. Those were deleted. But phone companies don't delete numbers. A single contact appeared again and again. Late hours. Short calls. Sometimes 5 minutes. Sometimes 30. Always after I had gone to bed. I wrote the number down. Didn't call it. Not yet. Then I watched her. Really watched her. People behave differently when they believe they're safe. Her smiles were softer on certain evenings. Her mood brighter after those late calls. And sometimes, she would look at our children with a strange expression. A complicated one. Like admiration mixed with something heavier. Something closer to guilt. That's when the idea stopped feeling like paranoia. And started feeling like possibility. DNA tests are surprisingly simple. A quiet appointment. A sterile room. 2 small swabs. My son joked the whole time. My daughter asked if it would hurt. I smiled. Reassured them. Played the role perfectly. Inside, though. Inside, my thoughts were colder than the clinic walls. The technician sealed the samples. Results in 2 weeks, she said. 2 weeks. 14 days. I lived every one of them beside my wife. Watching her laugh. Watching her scroll through her phone. Watching her kiss me goodnight. Every moment felt like a rehearsal for the ending. Because deep down, somewhere beneath logic and hope and denial, I already knew. The question was never if the truth existed. The question was whether she believed I would ever find it. The email arrived on a Tuesday morning. Subject line, confidential results. I didn't open it immediately. Instead, I made coffee. Sat at the kitchen table. Listened to the quiet hum of the refrigerator. Then I clicked. 2 reports. 2 probabilities. 2 numbers that rearranged my entire life. 0%. For my son. 0%. For my daughter. The room felt very still after that. Not shocking. Not chaotic. Just empty. 10 years. 10 birthdays. 10 Christmas mornings. All built on something that didn't belong to me. I printed the reports. Folded them neatly. And waited. That evening she came home smiling. Traffic was awful, she sighed, dropping her bag. I slid the papers across the table. She glanced down. Unfolded them. And the color drained from her face so quickly it was almost impressive. Her lips parted. No, she whispered. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't accuse. Didn't move. I simply asked one question. Who is he? Silence filled the room. Heavy. Merciless. Her eyes filled with tears. Her hands trembled. But my voice remained calm. Because by then, emotion had already burned itself out. All that was left was truth. She tried to speak. Tried to explain. Words collided with each other, collapsing under their own weight. It was before. I thought. I didn't know. I raised a hand. Not aggressively. Just enough to stop the noise. Remember your joke? I said quietly. Her eyes lifted slowly. Confused. Terrified. You said maybe I should get a DNA test. I leaned back in my chair. Studying her the way a surgeon studies an X-ray. Carefully. Without emotion. So I did. The silence that followed was brutal. She cried. Soft at first. Then harder. But tears don't erase facts. And facts don't feel pity. I've already filed for divorce, I continued. Her head snapped up. Shock rippling through her expression. And the number you call every night, I added calmly, belongs to him. Her breathing stopped. Just for a moment. I spoke to him yesterday. That part finally broke her. Completely. Because that was the piece she never expected. The one move she hadn't prepared for. He didn't know about the kids either, I said. And now he does. Her entire world collapsed inside that kitchen. But mine. Mine had already burned down weeks ago. People imagine revenge as something loud. Explosive. But the most devastating victories are quiet. She cried for hours that night. Begging. Apologizing. Trying to stitch together a life that had already unraveled. I watched her carefully. The same way I had watched her for weeks. Except now there was no confusion left. Only clarity. I realized something important as I packed a small suitcase. Love isn't destroyed by betrayal. It's erased by it. Like chalk washed off a board. By morning, the house felt unfamiliar. Not painful. Just empty. I paused at the door once. She was sitting on the floor, exhausted from crying. Small. Broken. A stranger. She whispered my name as I stepped outside. But I didn't turn back. Because the truth had finally done its work. And the men who walked away from that house was not the men she had betrayed. He was someone colder. Someone quieter. Someone who had learned that sometimes the cruelest answer to a joke is simply telling the truth.